Today we're going to take a close look at the Boutique Hotel, one of the greatest Lego modulars as far as I'm concerned. Between the angles on this set and the colors, right up there for me. So we're going to convert this, number one, to our take on the MILS concept. Number two, we're also going to do some updates around the sidewalk and curbs and a few other things to bring this up to some standards that I've kind of set for some of my other modulars, if you take a look at some previous videos. So let's dive into this one. So on the back of this modular, there is some of the base plate that is exposed. You can see the light bluish gray there. So as we're picking the colors for the top of the MILS plate, I've been wanting to go with green to be more consistent through every module. That's what we've done on the previous ones. So for this back corner, we've got another green 16 by 16 plate. Now on the front of the building, the big thing we're going to be working on is adding our curb cuts here on the corner, very similar to how we had done on the Tudor corner previously. The other thing is this pointy end here, we're going to be changing using, we'll make that more of a curve. So we've got some pieces like that to build in. And as we're building the MILS plate underneath, you have to keep this in mind that we're going to do this because we have to be able to have a black base to it. And that's because the road, which is going to be next to it on both sides here, is black. So we've got the formula that we use for a basic MILS plate, which we're following here for those 16 by 16 plates. But that dark gray plate in the bottom right, we're going to tear that out because we need to rethink that area. This will explain better why we're going to tear out this plate, because this here, this corner is this corner, and we want to put this rounded curb on there. The problem is, if we do it as it's built, okay, here's the curb we're going to put on there. Look, you can see that dark gray under there, okay? But our roads are black. And we've shown you this before in other videos, but you see, we want that underlayment there. Instead of that dark gray to be showing, what the black to show. Thing is, we do not have a 16 by 16 plate in black, but we don't need them because here, this is one of the best things about MILS. We have this basic template with the 16 by 16 plates that we use because, as we've shown before, you don't have to have as much under here, but you can adapt to what you need. And in this one, we need to have some black here. So here's what we're going to do. Follow along here. So usually, like I said, we said before, usually we don't need anything in here because these 16 by 16 plates are very sturdy. Okay, but we're not going to be able to use 16 by 16. We don't have a black one. We're going to have to piecemeal some things in here instead. So we're going to take a few other plates. Okay, now follow along, watch this. First, I'm taking just a couple of 1 by 2 plates here. Okay. Now I've got a 16 by 16 plate here with a couple of plates underneath it. Okay, this now fits across here like this, and those plates underneath. Okay, so notice how that sits pretty well. It's going to add some more support for us underneath here. Now, a couple more 1 by 2 plates here, and then over here. And then we grab another 16 by 16, and this will sit across here like this. Okay, so now we've created a grid on which we can set some smaller plates here. I'm going to add just a couple more support plates. Okay, so what we've done here is, instead of needing a 16 by 16 plate, we've added some support here so we can get away with having an 8 by 8 here. Another 8 by 8 right here. And again, these are very, very solid. An 8 by 8 here. Now we get down here. Remember, where did we want to end up? We want to have a black, be able to see black coming through here. So I'm going to take this piece out right here. Okay, not going to need that. I'm going to change these supports. I think we're going to need something a little more robust here for support. So I'm going to take 1 by 3 and then a 2 by 3, okay? Set it in the corner here. So thinking long term then, I'm going to take this black 2 by 2 corner, set it here, okay? And then I've got a black 1 by 1 tile that's going to go right here, okay? So now if I do that, remember we got this grounded curb, it's going to sit on top of this. Now it's not quite done, but if I set it down like this, and I'll pick this up to show you guys, see, you've got a nice rounded black exposed there, and it's going to match up when we add our roads next to it. Okay. Of course, we're not quite done there. We got to fill in this area. So I'm taking that curb off, and then we've got kind of a funny shape here, but again, that's Lego's got lots of different options here. This is a 6 by 8 plate. It sits here just like this. Thanks to those supports we put in the middle, that is very solid. We're left here with a 2 by 6 area, and we've got one of those too. So here's a 2 by 6. All right, there's our MILS plate. And then, now that this is complete, we can start building out those new curbs like we've done in other videos. I'll start building out these new curbs that we've been using on the other modulars. One thing to note, see this little corner tile here that I'm using that it's off color? I'm using that there because it doesn't matter what color we have. And I've got a ton of those, because then this piece goes on here, and then the street sign will go right there. See, it covers up that pale green piece that we just put in. And then we just keep building out our expanded curbs. 1 by 2 plate goes right here in the middle, because we're going to be doing, it's shown on this on another one. Eventually we're going to have the drains, you know, in the road, just like that, instead of in the sidewalk. I think that's a much cleaner look. One of the exciting things for me about making these changes is little details like that. All right, now on the left side of all these reimagined modulars, I put that in the wrong place. Got a little bit of yellow curb and gonna have a fire hydrant. Let me start filling in the rest of the tiles. I really like using these little rounded pieces. Just give a little bit more character there where the curb breaks for the crosswalk cut. And then over here on this far side, very much mirroring setup we had started over on the left side. The difference here, 1 by 2, eventually we're going to be putting the lamppost there. Don't want to do that. I want to do it 1 by 8 and then a couple 1 by 6s is the best way to do it. And we've got this new curb built into the corner, nice rounded edge. And then one of the things I love about doing this, we're going to add a little crosswalk signal. Actually, it's not that little, it's actually a double, because we have crosswalks going in both directions. There we go. It's time to transfer this hotel, and what we're going to do is take off the top floors, and then a couple of these other, this comes up as well. Then we're just going to take this off, because then what happens is also this. We're going to turn this over, flip it over, set it like this, because then we can relatively easily from here peel off the base plate. And now we got to take all these tiles, transfer them onto our new MILS plate. One thing we need to think about as we're transferring from the old base plate to the new MILS plate, there is a pattern here in this corner, which we've played with because adding these curbs has made things a little bit deeper. So we'll start transferring here and see what happens. And we're just gonna adjust the whole thing a little bit. Again, I like this pattern, and I think we got some room we can work with here. So again, the pattern is going to stay the same. It's just going to be moving it back closer to the building by, looks like one stud. So again, we're going to get this put together and then just kind of see how things look, if we want to adjust it all or not. So we took about 20 minutes to transfer all of the tiles from the old base plate to the MILS plate. Now that that's done, we can turn our attention to put this building back together. And this one's put together relatively easily. It's built pretty sturdy. I think the angles kind of play a part in that. Help this be, even when it's not on a base plate, this stayed together, and you can see it pops down onto the new MILS plate really well. And here's our finished boutique hotel, transferred onto a MILS plate to match what we're doing with the rest of our modular buildings. Sidewalk is pretty narrow on this set compared to other recent modulars, so I was a little worried about the curb, but I think it's okay.